Good afternoon. Today we're going to be making homemade tagliatelle. To do that, it's very simple and very simple ingredients indeed. All we need is some flour, some eggs, because of the way we're going to do it, a food processor and a pasta rolling machine. And the first ingredient and the main ingredient we're going to use today is just 200 grams of flour. This is actually special flour. It's called double loaf flour. It's milled even finer than normal flour. So 200 grams of this flour, basically one of these bowls, so that's going to go with the 2 eggs that we're going to put in a moment. So there we go, that's 200 grams, and I'm going to put this in the food processor now. Okay, now here we've just got a normal food processor, and the tool we're going to use today is just the normal chopping blade. So put that into your food processor, and then just put in the 200 grams of flour. Bang on the lid, give it a quick zazz to make sure That's Angus broken 2 eggs into the bowl. Okay, now we've got 2 eggs in this bowl, just blended them together very slightly, don't need to be too fussy about that. And the basic thing that we're going to do is gradually add the egg into the At this first stage we've got something that's looking a bit like a breadcrumb mixture. I'm going to gradually try and add the egg to the point where it looks like couscous. There we are, that's about right. The main reason for doing the pasta in the food processor like this is it makes it very easy to get the consistency just right. Although we should speak too soon, I guess. Okay, as you can see, the consistency of this mixture is very much just like couscous. It's slightly soft and sticky, and now we're going to knead that together. Okay, so having got the couscous-like texture to our flour and egg mix, I'm just going to bump it out onto the counter here and squash it together. And it's going to form a lovely smooth dough in a moment. It's really very straightforward, as you can see. And that's essentially the first part of the job done. We've now got some pasta dough. The next thing to do though is to knead it. Kneading it just like this with the back of your hand, turn it over, squash it, turn it over, squash it. You can give it a bit of abuse actually, thump it down on the table if you like. Do it a bit better than that, you try a bit harder, give it a good slap. Keep kneading it and kneading it. It's like this. Your hand, turn it around and again, and you should feel it. Just got a lovely, nice, soft texture and holding together nicely. Okay, this may be kneading it for just over a minute, which is basically sufficient here. Not too difficult at all. Now let's get it into a nice ball. And I'm just going to set it aside now for an hour to rest. Not too difficult at all. And we'll come back and show you how to use the pasta machine later. Right, okay. Well, the dough's rested wrapped in cling foam for an hour now. And here's our trusty pasta maker. Going to cut the dough in half. Roll it out. And then run it through the pasta maker, as you'll see in a moment. Right, okay, so we've now got the dough into a nice rectangle to run through the pasta maker. First thing to check is that you've got it set onto the widest setting, not the narrowest setting. And then, Angus, could you run the dough through the pasta maker a few times for me? Just a wee bit tricky sometimes to get it started. Another problem can be pasta maker moving about a little bit, as you can see. So we're getting there. So run it through, and then we'll run it through once more before we fold it up. Now we're going to fold it into three, or into a third of what it was before, and run it through perpendicular to what we did previously. What you'll find is the pasta gets smoother and shinier as we do this, and we just keep repeating until we've got some lovely smooth shiny pasta. To one thinner than it was. I've not folded the pasta now to run it back through. I've just run the length, the smooth length of pasta that we got from running through again and again on the widest setting, and I'm going to run it through twice at every setting. So that's twice at the second setting, and quick on to the third setting. Right, now we've turned it through to its setting number 5 on this pasta maker, which is a setting that's thin enough for the pasta that we want to make today. This is the last time we'll be running it through before we cut it. Just a question again of the catch in the first place. That's it. Now we've got some lovely cut tagliatelle. Just perfect, lovely and soft. Okay, so now we've got our cut tagliatelle. The only thing that's left to do is to blanch it by putting it into boiling water for 20 seconds, then taking it out of the boiling water, steeping it in cold water to cool it down, draining it, and then you can keep it in the fridge for a couple of days.